Last night I had a little trouble falling asleep. I think what I needed was a good bedtime story. So I turned to Reddit, just cruising around, perusing, see if I could find anything that'd give me the yawns and help me go night night. But I found something extraordinary. Something so stimulating I stopped any attempt at going to sleep, and I just sat there bewildered by what I had just read. For at least 40 minutes, I just sat in silence, truly stunned, like a child who had just watched his first episode of Chris Angel's Mind Freak. My brain was blown out my ass. I couldn't imagine a world where this was real, but all of the evidence pointed to it being a genuinely true story. I did eventually hit the hay, and now, a full 9 hours later, I'm still thinking about this. So, I figured, why not share it with all of you? Perhaps this will have a profound effect on your life, or maybe it'll do something to help motivate you to not be like the guy in this story. It's a series of text messages between a man and a woman. And that's all I'll tell you for now. I don't want to get in any spoilers. I want you to come into this as unsuspecting as possible. Let's dive in. Previously on Dragon Ball Z, the two people in this text conversation were close friends for about 9 years. The Reddit poster is the woman in this story, and her male friend here had recently professed his love for her in a pretty creepy way. The feeling wasn't mutual, so it led to a bit of a disconnect between the two of them, and in an act of desperation, the male friend calls in the cringe artillery and starts bombarding her with memes, to which she finally responds, "Hey, I appreciate the memes." Real quick, I'd like to come in here with a PSA. I recognize that in the current climate of things, there's a lot of people that have lived their entire lives online without any actual social interaction, so I want this to be a teachable moment. Don't send memes as some kind of last-ditch Hail Mary. Like, if you let something rip and it's not reciprocated, spamming memes isn't going to salvage the situation. It's only going to make it worse and even weirder. Her saying, "I appreciate the memes," is just a lie. No one's ever going to say that. Those words have probably not left the human being's mouth ever. "Ah, good morrow, sailor. I really appreciate the exquisite memes you've shared with me today. I was a little perturbed with our last conversation, but now that you've sent 1,000 memes, I see you've got a good heart. Thank you for this." And I'm speaking from experience here. I'm very knowledgeable in this field. I'm the authority on this matter. I've told this story before, but I'll just briefly repeat it. The very first girl I was ever flirting with and exchanging text messages with was back in high school, and she did not feel the same way about me as I did her. And in my weakest moments, I turned to the dark side and consulted the Sith Lords and was advised to try and maybe send goofy memes and ASCII art because that was big back in the day. So I did. And guess what? It didn't fucking solve anything. It just made it even worse. I know how uncomfortable that must have been for her. So yeah, that is not the right play to just start spamming memes and shit. But anyway, she continues the message by saying that she's only ever thought of him as a close friend and never really viewed him in a romantic way. So when he professed her love, it made things a little weird. They grew distant, they grew a bit hostile, but she thinks they can be friends again just as long as it's very clear that there is no romantic feelings in this relationship. She's just laying down the brass tacks and making things very clear, to which he responds, "I certainly had my head on backwards, but as my friend, I really think you're fucking adorable, and every trip I've ever taken with you is so fucking precious. I've heard of a Japanese word called shibumi, and it's basically authority without dominance. Call me a simp, but I really think you have that." Code red, he's not taking no for an answer. Jinkies, we're going too deep. He just busted out shibumi. Jesus Christ, we're in the end game now. Lord help us. He continues to spaghetti dump here for the novel that he's writing her. There's steam coming off of the touchscreen pad as he's writing. The most important takeaway here is a very specific line, a buzzword that gets dropped that I think is very important that we highlight. He says, "Sometimes it feels like my chivalrous interest with you is underappreciated or just unappreciated sometimes." The reason I point that out is because I'm pretty confident that the word chivalry is used exclusively by creeps. I don't think there's been a documented case of a normal person saying chivalry, especially not in this context. It's just like an immediate red flag word to drop, especially when saying that my chivalrous interest is underappreciated, it's not valued enough. It's just some certified weirdo Redditor energy. Like tipping the hat, "M'lady, it's no problem, you're welcome for holding the door open for you. Chivalry isn't dead, am I right?" I'm the perfect example. No, of course, I'm just kidding. I jest. Chivalry can't die, because to die, it would imply that it was ever alive in the first place. Only a living thing can experience death, and chivalry is not a living thing. It's an idea, more of a social code, per se. He continues on, and then eventually tells her that she should like one of them so he doesn't feel crazy, to which she says, "You're not crazy, I just need some time to think." Which I think is a perfectly reasonable response to all of this, but he gives her no time to think and immediately just comes back to, "Please, please, let me find favor in your eyes." I'm assuming he heard that in some kind of like indie song at some point, so he tried to throw that in here to see if it'd work. So he's going full-blown Robert Frost now, even then drops a picture saying, "Daydream with me," and it's like the sun rising. So it's getting very emotional in here. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because it's him once again just begging for any kind of reciprocation, to which she just keeps saying she just needs some time to process all of this. But he's extremely impatient. His foot is fully on the gas and there's no turning back now. He is full throttle invested in all of this. He's using every possible cliche line imaginable, but he's not finding any favor in her eyes. It just keeps going. "You're valid. Never really heard the extent of why I'm your friend." So now he's like interrogating her. "Why am I your buddy? Why am I your pal, huh? Tell me. I could tell you all day why you're my friend. Your voice is fucking music. I think you're brilliant. Just a brilliant person to be around. Really wish I could hug you. Fuck. This hurts." And again, she reiterates, "I need time to think. I will reach out when I'm ready." And now we've finally gotten past the introduction here and we're entering the climax. Welcome to the wacky zone. He once again gives her no time to like reach out or process any of this. He reaches out pretty soon after everything, only a couple of days, and says, "So like, is there any chance as your friend I could send you something explicit?" She says, "What do you mean?" And then he goes, "NSFW," which I'm sure all of you know what that means, but I'll break it down anyway. Not safe for work. Of course, she wasn't expecting this curveball, so she says, "Are you trying to make a joke right now?" And then he goes, "No, kind of a gamble." I will say this is a historic moment. You are witnessing the worst gamble in history. Congratulations, we all got to be a part of this. This is, by far, the absolute worst possible fucking gamble you could ever make. This is like betting 100% of your life savings on me getting taller. Like, what the fuck are you, like, I don't understand how you think an out of nowhere nudie is going to somehow win her over and like somehow solve all of these problems. I just can't even understand that mindset, really. It just doesn't compute. Like, okay, I tried all of the lovey-dovey, really mushy-gushy stuff with the favor in your eyes, your voice is like magic or music. It didn't work. So let's try something a little more primal. Wiener. What about penis? Eureka! This might be the answer. Let's try it. She's once again just trying to make sure she fully understands the lunacy going on here, so she says, "Are you asking me if you can send me something sexually explicit? Respectfully." What a gentleman. A fedora tip to you, my gentle sir. That is sophisticated. Very respectful. "M'lady, doth thou wish to gaze upon my meat?" And then he sends her a dick pic with his pinky out while holding it. An incredibly interesting play here, as if somehow his cock was going to hypnotize her and make her fall in love with him. So she eventually responds by pointing out how weird this whole interaction has become. She still only ever viewed them as friends and will only ever view him as a friend, and that she's very disappointed that he can't even respect that she wants some time to herself to process this entire weird interaction. She also drops a bombshell at the end by mentioning that she's currently in a relationship, so that was a big plot twist. This goober is doing all of this to a girl who is not interested and also in a relationship. The odds couldn't be more against him. Now, she used a word at the end that's about to change the entire course of this interaction. She said, "It sucked when you went all incel on me towards the end." That word, I had a big voice crack there. That's how powerful that word is. That one word ruffled this guy's feathers so much. You're about to see a full-blown ballistic breakdown from it. I respect that. Also, if I'm an incel, you're toxic, so let's not name call. She's toxic because she doesn't want to fuck him. Why is that even in your argument, that I can't get someone? I can. You choose not to. That's fair, but you didn't get to call me an incel because you decline. You go out of your way to say it. Why is that? Label me as anything else, like for real. It's foolish for you to argue something like that. She gets taken off guard here, saying like, hey, whoa, pump the brakes, Buster. I didn't mean to offend you. She says, I never said you couldn't get someone. What do you mean? She never said that. Like, he is now just projecting some insecurities and reading between the lines on shit that doesn't exist. She just said his behavior was that of like an incel or something. And he keeps going. You should know I'm anything but a little dick incel, so out of here with that shit. Again, she never even pointed out your penis or anything. She didn't call it small. Like, where is this coming from? He's fighting ghosts. I'm not even gonna pretend that's valid. You're with a fucking beta cuck to begin with. Maybe that's your type and maybe that's why we aren't together. Have fun with that. The mask has come off. He is unchained, unhinged, and unhappy. Your boyfriend's a beta cuck loser. That's the only reason you and I aren't together, because that's what you're into, beta cucks. You couldn't handle an alpha male testosterone titan like me, a real man who cries while he texts. She then goes on to say, like, look, if you find me to be toxic and all of this awful stuff, like, okay, then, you know, you shouldn't be upset that we're not close anymore. And to this big message, he just responds by saying, I'll see you in hell. And then she says r/nice guys, which this very much is an r/nice guys moment. You know, keep in mind, this is still like only a couple days after the whole poetic, allow me to find favor in your eyes, miss. Your voice is music, sweet music. And now it's, what an excellent take on a 7-year waste of my fucking time. To which she responds, so you're just waiting around until I'd eventually date you? That's on you, man. She's absolutely right. That is entirely on you. This dude played the long game, almost an entire decade of pretending to be her friend in the hopes that eventually you'll get to fuck her. I guess was the plan. That is a long commitment to a deep cover operation to stay in disguise, faking friendship, hoping that eventually you'll be able to have sex with her. Then he says, how was I supposed to know you're only interested in half men? I've never even seen that term used before. This guy's pulling all kinds of Insano-style phrases out of his ass now. I spent 7 years just waiting for you to notice the difference, but I guess I bet on the wrong fucking horse. This goober spent 7 years pretending to be her friend, hoping that somehow she'd fall in love with him? This is craziness. This is a longer time spent undercover than Rob Lucci and the gang during the Water 7 arc of One Piece. Like, this is outrageous how long he committed to this ridiculous, diabolical plan. And now he's just full anime villain mode. I'm over you. That's why I asked if you needed a visual definition of the word endowed, because I bet you're never going to get that with the life you choose to live without me. Motherfucker, I grew this dick for you, you ungrateful clod. We have to pause here for a moment. Wow. I grew this dick for you, you ungrateful clod. That is one of the most powerful sentences I've ever had the pleasure of reading. What does that even mean? That's not even possible. How could you have grown your penis for her? Was there no dick there to begin with, and then you just started, like planting the seeds and then taking care of it like summertime gardening? Like, what does that mean, you grew it for her? Is it a laboratory experiment like the Cybermen? Like, I don't understand. It's just such a bafflingly amazing sentence. She's also stunned, saying, I refuse to believe that these messages aren't satire. And then that sets him off even further. This entire relationship is satire. A joke. Your interest in men is a joke. The wambulance is coming in hot. He's Squidward, you're Squidward, I'm Squidward, we're all Squidward. This whole relationship's satire, it's all a joke, you're a joke. Fuck you. My interest in you is a joke. This is the first time I wanted to show someone my dick because I hate them. Fucking brilliant. r/nice guys, these nuts. She waits a while and then says, I think enough time has passed and I just genuinely want to know if you've had any remorse for the shit you said to me or if you truly believe it was all valid. And then he responds 7 hours later saying, let's find out if you're still seeing the Hat Man first. I don't know what that means, But then he comes back 2 hours later and said, I'm over you. You're wasting your time. So he's trying to flip this around on her like, you missed your opportunity with the golden goose. You missed your opportunity with the alpha. I've moved on, you harpy. I don't need you anymore, harlot. Listen, I've matured a lot. You clearly haven't. So you're wasting your time trying to talk to me now. You had your chance. You blew it. I'm sure you're kicking yourself now for this, but hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. But then just to finish it off with the cherry on top, he quotes from before where he was offering to show her his wiener and says, I still mean this if you need clarification. And then comes back and says, except don't even bother asking for nudes. I have a girlfriend. Okay. I mean, this is quite the ride. What an adventure. She eventually just says, what's wrong with you? We were friends for almost a decade. And then you go into this shit. Which is a reasonable response. Like, how did this happen? We have been friends for like 10 years. We've known each other for so long. Where did this come from? It is crazy. This whole situation was wild. And also, I'm calling fiddlesticks on that last statement from him. I don't believe he has a girlfriend. If we go back to like chapter 7 of this meltdown, he said that she was the first girl he wanted to show his penis to. So, I'm under the impression he's a virgin. And I don't think enough time has passed between those messages and these that he would not only lose his virginity, but then also have a girlfriend, especially given all of the behavior we're seeing exhibited here. So, I think he lied about that. That was probably just once again some kind of Hail Mary to make her jealous. Like, hey, listen, Toots. Got a girlfriend. Stay off of me. Can't send you nudes anymore. You blew it. Nope, can't do it. Sorry. That's on you. Yeah, you'll regret this for the rest of your life, clearly. Sorry. Have a girlfriend. Even though it's most likely a lie. But yeah, that's all there is to the story here. Overall, I think we can all agree that nice guys really do finish last. It is insulting that these two didn't end up getting married. This guy is a real catch, and it's just a shame to see that it didn't pan out. But yeah, overall, dropping the sarcasm, I actually feel really bad for the woman in this situation here. This is someone who was a close friend to her for a fucking decade, only to then find out that that close friend was actually just a complete piece of shit, loser, degenerate, who was only being her friend, trying to have sex with her down the line. I can't even imagine that kind of betrayal. That must have been fucking awful. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share this because I've been thinking about it like all day. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Online dating's pretty tough. I remember when I was a single man using Tinder, my go-to line was, do you like Brendan Fraser movies? It worked to tremendous success. It was like a real-life cheat code for getting laid. But I understand not everyone's going to be as suave as I was. However, I'd argue nobody has less game than the guy I'm about to show you. This should lift your spirits. If you ever feel bad about yourself, like, damn, I suck at online dating, just know you'll never be as bad as this living, breathing organism I'm about to show you. For those that have been around the channel for a while, you'll know that I've always enjoyed reading horrible flirting as well as just really disastrous, like, romance attempts online. I used to have a whole series going through Facebook flirting, which is where I learned about, bitch lasagna, as well as also a line I still use today, put your ass in my asshole, baby. Things like that. I've always loved it. I don't really make content around it anymore, but today I had to come out of retirement. I had to dust off the old championship belt here for this one because I saw this on Reddit and I was smiling ear to ear. It is so bad. So this is where our journey begins. Now, again, this was posted to Reddit, so there's like a 90% chance it's fake. But god damn it, I'm gonna suspend disbelief and just enjoy the ride. Now, of course, I'm not an expert here. Rick wouldn't call me into the shop on Pawn Stars to check the authenticity of this piece, but there are countless of very real examples with pathetic dudes that go just like this. So, there is a good chance it's real. So these two have been talking for a little while, and my man comes in with the clown shoes and asks, "Are you on birth control? I know it's a personal question, but kind of important to know." And then they say, okay, I'm canceling Wednesday. This could have gone better. This is suboptimal. This is a rough start right here. If it was a speed run, this would be a reset. This is about as bad as you could expect. He immediately ruined the date that they had planned by just immediately going full hog and just sending it. And from there was no recovering, and it gets real bad. He does not handle this super well. There was no grace or elegance. Lol, I'm kidding, dude, relax. He's just, yeah, it's just stand-up comedy, honestly. He was practicing his material. Why are you overreacting? I'm uncomfortable with these jokes. Okay, sorry, I'll stop, okay? No, I'm still canceling it. And now we get into his Joker arc. Well, that's really your loss for being so uptight, but okay. I'll just go to work and make $900 in 12 hours. Really? You're overreacting. Seriously? And you wonder why you're single? Yawn. Still waiting for your reply, lol. I actually had you double booked with another girl, so I'm kinda happy you decided to be a psycho. You sure you want to cancel it? This is a full roller coaster worth of emotion here. This man's hitting all 5 stages of denial within 6 text messages. This shit goes insano style quick. So let's break it down piece by piece. You know, at first it's like, okay, you're missing out on a catch. I'm the perfect guy. I'm a real fucking man. Check my KD in Fortnite. I'm nuts. And you know what? Fuck you. I'm just gonna go make $900 in 12 hours at my job because I'm pulling fat racks. I've got stacks on stacks. Like, I'm kind of nutty. I'm one of the wealthiest men in the world, in fact. Then you can see panic start to set in when the money play didn't pan out. I'm guessing like 5 minutes had passed and he was already hyperventilating and breathing into a paper bag to calm himself down. So he tries to like put it on her like something's wrong with her. She's overreacting. Why are you just freaking out over nothing? It's like that scene in Airplane with that girl who's like afraid of flying. So they start like shaking her. Hey, get a hold of yourself. Come on, get a hold of yourself. It was just a joke. So then he goes right into his bad boy mode. He puts on his sunglasses and trench coat and says, you know what, actually this is good for me. I double booked you with another girl. So the fact that you're psycho is helpful for me because now I can just go to this other girl. In fact, I was just trying to have like 10 girls to have sex with on the same day and you were just one of the many. So it's not that big of a deal. But are you sure you want to cancel? Like, I'm totally telling the truth, but are you like sure you want to cancel? I love that attempt. It's like, I'm so desirable, actually. In fact, I totally forgot I'd already had another girl that I was going to fuck this day, so it's fine. And then has the audacity to call her a psycho. And I love the way that he says it. I double booked. This man has clearly never actually had a date in his life. It's like he's just penciling it in on a calendar as if it's like a part of his job. Now we make a transition into Act 3 here, into just full-blown neediness and scary obsession. Please call me, please. I'm at work, dude. Lol, I know. I'm just being incredibly annoying to show you how most guys act. So maybe you'll realize I'm not that bad. So I'll see you Wednesday? That doesn't even make sense. You were fine until that joke. This is a Hail Mary. This man hatched the ultimate plan. So after he realized that by begging to be called back, it was a bit much, a rare moment of self-reflection, he's like, okay, yeah, it's a bit weird. So then he's like, how do I get out of this now? I've got it. I was actually just pretending to be needy and obsessed. It was called acting. I was actually just doing this to show you what most other simpletons do, not a sophisticated, nice guy like me. So I'll see you Wednesday, right? Dude, I was kidding with you. It's a joke. You do know I'm a doctor, right? My brain thinks at a much higher level than yours or the average person. It wasn't even sexual. It was a joke. And I said if you don't like those type of jokes, I won't joke like that anymore. This should be the end of it. You should be like, okay, cool. And then if I do it again, then you get pissed. Yeah, he's a doctor. Dr. Love, baby. This guy's good. This is real smooth. I have to imagine he's not actually a doctor. I mean, maybe fucking Dr. Evil. I have no clue. But regardless, I love that he's like, I actually just have such a galaxy brain. I'm thinking on a totally different level than you and all of these other plebeians. I'm just too fucking smart. That's my curse. That's the burden I bear. I'm too intelligent, which is why I made this joke. And the joke is a thinking man's joke. It's actually an anti-joke, in fact. You know how there's like matter and antimatter? This is an anti-joke, and now I'm explaining it to you so you don't have the right to get mad about it. You see, you're just wrong for getting upset about it, and it's because I'm so much smarter than you. And I understand that it's not your fault for being fucking stupid, but just know that since I'm a doctor, I know what's right and what's wrong when it comes to joking. You off just get pissed right off the bat and be all rude to someone. That's a major turnoff, and just know. Yeah, she was the one being rude. She was nice enough to give you like a warning that she's canceling. She's like, hey, you're a fucking weirdo and I'm canceling. She could have just said nothing and not showed up on Wednesday, wasting your time by going there. And you just sit there all fucking soft cock in hand waiting and just not even getting a response. But she was nice enough to like cancel to your face. Like, that's far more than you deserved. Okay, so rant over. Are we cool now? Yeah, I think things are good now. I'm reading the room and it looks like he may have solved this problem here and fixed everything. You just talk shit to me. All I said was I'm canceling it. I didn't do what did talk shit to someone. What? Those are not coherent sentences. Of course I'm talking shit to you. You just flaked after I asked for that night off. Do you know how hard it is for me to get a night off work? Continuing further, let's just stop this childish nonsense. I'll see you Wednesday, right? This is that shit, don't take no for an answer, which I think is honestly the worst advice you can ever give someone. No is like the most important answer you should accept. By not accepting no's, you're just gonna go to jail at some point. Like, you're just asking for some kind of awful thing to happen to you. Like, no is an important thing to recognize and respect. And then they respond, you do not need to criticize my sentences. Change of mind and telling you about it doesn't really make it flaking. I was upfront. You said you already booked another date with someone else. Go enjoy it. I don't know why you're trying to with me, especially since you think so little of me already. Man's going full-blown car salesman. Just meet me Wednesday. I'm sorry, okay? Just will not drop it. There is no chance she shows up on Wednesday. This is coming across like an actual serial killer now who's just scratching at his neck for his next victim. Like, he just cannot help but just keep saying, you're coming Wednesday. I know you are. You're gonna meet me here Wednesday. Call me immediately. I'm at work. I'm not going to take the call. Okay, then we are meeting Wednesday, right? Are we cool? I feel like she might be talking to King Ghidorah here, just three separate heads all talking at once and all having different thoughts. One of them is just a fucking android that can only say Wednesday. One of them's just like a spiteful lunatic who thinks that there's some galaxy brain intellect that can't help but shit on her. And then one of them's just like a lobotomized zombie who just constantly just keeps asking, are we cool? Are we good now? It's wild, like the swings this guy goes through on these text messages here. Then he goes all in saying, look, my mom recently died, okay? So I'm kinda not really in the best place to be messed with. So if you could understand that would be great. Please, dude, please answer me. Can you please stop being immature and call me? Now, admittedly, she was being very immature about this whole situation by not understanding such level-headed remarks from a gentleman like this. It really was her being immature, clearly. And I also can't help but respect the actual Xbox Live tactic of saying his mom died. That is unironically 2005 Xbox Live shit right there. Like, your mom's a whore, mom's dead, and it's supposed to be like the checkmate. He actually tried it. It's like, oh, mom's dead, so now you have to excuse everything I've said, and you have to go on this date with me. I'll see you Wednesday, right? Come on, stop being immature. So yeah, anyway, that's where this story wraps up. Hopefully, if some of you are shitty at online dating, this will help you feel a little bit better and maybe help you improve in that respect in some way. Hopefully, none of you are as bad as this guy or anywhere close, but if you're just kind of, awkward and uncomfortable when it comes to conversations via text, maybe this will lift your spirits up a little bit, because you're probably not as bad as this guy. Anyway, that's about it. See ya. If you've got a full belly, prepare yourself, because you might just puke upon seeing and listening to this unbelievable, embarrassing cringe. This is the worst flirting, the worst attempt at wooing a potential romantic interest I have ever seen. This is like playing a visual novel and then scaring away all of your potential love interests at once and getting the worst ending. Now, I'd like to give a bit of context here to the situation before we really dive into the meatballs from our spaghetti entree of cringe. A user on Twitter posted screenshots as well as videos from a random guy who had reached out to her on Facebook because he had seen her on a dating app. The two didn't even match, and I guess he must have assumed that it was some kind of glitch because they were destined to be lovers. It was fate that was pulling them together, but unfortunately technology had a malfunction, so he took matters into his own hands, tracked her down on Facebook, of which she had no connection to the dating app. She didn't connect any of her socials to the dating app, so he did some super sleuthing to find her on Facebook and reach out to her there to try and win her heart. And let's see how that went. Kelsey! I love that intro right there. It's straight out of Scary Movie, like that old commercial. What's up? He's coming at her like they're best friends from way back in the day. He then executes Order 66 and kills all potential for romance. He goes, okay, shit. Mayhaps that was a tad overly enthusiastic for a stranger danger message on a sunny Friday morning. There is so much quirk to the way that he texts that I'm getting uncomfortable. I can say with a high level of confidence that he is definitely in some kind of theater troupe because he is typing like he's acting out some kind of skit for a play. It's a little much here. My bad. Let's go with I can explain. Fuck yeah, that works. Then drops a couple of emojis and then one of these bad boys. How she didn't immediately fall in love with this man is beyond me. This is aggressive. And it's already creepy because it's a complete stranger who saw her on a dating app and then tracked her down in order to, really directly communicate with her. So, let's go over where things went wrong here. I'll go ahead and get the playbook out like John Madden and say where everything fell apart for the offense. From the start, basically. There is nothing that's even remotely salvageable from what he tried to do here. There is nothing more annoying than texting like you're talking to yourself during the text. Like when you say something like, Kelsey, oh wait, shit, mayhaps that was a tad too far on a stranger danger sunny Friday afternoon. Goodness gracious, how do I save this? Like that is so fucking lame. That is shameful. That is just downright shameful. I am shocked he didn't drop like an asterisk nuzzles you, and then an asterisk, you there? Yeah, and then one of those emojis. So she said, sorry, do I know you? And then it reactivates this cringe protocol. He says, oh hey, no, we don't know each other. Sincere apologies for this subterfuge. Oh brother, this guy stinks. Dropping subterfuge here in your creepy approach to a stranger. If you give me the tiniest bit of room, I'd be happy to explain. I reckon that said explanation will bring laughs and smiles. P.S. Not trying to rope you into a pyramid scheme to sell fancy Tupperware. Yet. He's trying very hard to be self-aware, and when he starts sending his voice memos to her, he reiterates 1,000 times like, this is weird, you're probably gonna think I'm weird, and then just keeps doing it. He sends so many voice messages that go for a long, long time. It's making my voice crack because of how fucking embarrassing it is. And you want to know the wildest part? I'm getting ahead of myself, and it's a spoiler. He has done this to multiple women, apparently. Other women have come forward after this tweet and all of this, the receipts here and all that went viral, with other women showing their interactions with him, and he even uses like the exact same lines on other women, which is really odd considering that has to be a 0% success rate. These can't be working well at all. It's so weird. So she decides to play ball here and open Pandora's box to see what comes out. She says, explain away, and he gives a brief, cool guy thing. Oh god, I just spent 60 minutes singing to seniors and man am I drained. But fuck it, I can do this. He's hyping himself up in the text messages he is sending to this girl. It is so embarrassing, and he keeps doing it. But it gets worse because right after that, he sends a voice message.
Hey, Kelsey, how's it going? Don't mind me, I fucking hate texting. I think we're all better without it, so I usually use one of these when I can. Also, I don't know if you've ever seen that Key and Peele skit, but that's how I feel about texting. I could go on. Anyway, I just want you to know right off the bat, I fully accept how fucking weird this is. I'm sorry, but like I said, I think if you give me a second, you'll probably end up laughing. And not that you need my permission, but feel free to just laugh directly at me for being a fucking idiot, for I am surely about to embarrass myself right now.
I do appreciate your stamp of approval. I and everyone else will be laughing directly at you for this, and I appreciate that you recognize what an unbelievably weird thing it is to do. I don't know why you keep doing it. This is the first of many voice messages he sends, even after recognizing this immutable fact that it is weird and embarrassing.
And sorry for the delay. I was going to get back to you, but someone called about a gig tomorrow and I'm trying to help them find a musician. Also, I'm not sure if I'm fucking funny anymore. I just spent 60 minutes, like I said, playing guitar and singing to a room full of senior citizens, but the room was stuffy and hot. I had to do it with a surgical mask on, and I'm not sure if I have any funny or social energy left, but I'm going to try and fake it right now. So thank you for your understanding and patience, and here goes nothing. I'm a fucking idiot. Enjoy.
He's actually treating this like it's some kind of movie audition. What are you talking about? I also I love that he immediately makes himself seem like super busy, like, hey, sorry for the delay. I know you were waiting on bated breath for my explanation, but I had to help very big musicians find a gig. You may have heard of them before. Bring Me the Horizon. Yeah, I'm the lead singer. So I had a lot going on. I was double booked, so I had to give them a different band. You may have heard of them, Metallica. But anyway, let me go ahead and explain what's going on. I just finished one of my own gigs, in fact, so I'm a little drained, but don't be perturbed because I'm gonna do my best to fake it. So stay tuned for part two. It's coming right up. Yeah, like he's about to go through his stand-up comedy routine, which you don't want to miss.
In the trenches of online dating for a couple of years, so I definitely know how to identify the kind of person I'm like, if nothing else, the world would be better if we were friends. So hear me out. First of all, I never fucking see that shrug emoji. No one else uses it. It's typed into my phone. If I type shrug with 2 G's, it just shows up. Same thing on my laptop. Like, I'll use it in work emails. Fuck it. So right away, I'm like, interesting. I don't get it though. She's cute. For how pretty she is, she should be boring. Why does she seem kind of strange in a good way?
That's a spectacular start right there. I was like, she's kind of pretty, so why isn't she like a fucking lobotomite, boring dumbass? Like, she used an emoji that I really like, and she's pretty. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Pretty women can't have a personality, but you're like defying all of science right now. He just keeps going on about this fucking shrug emoji. He's talking about her bio on the dating site, and he just really fixates on that. That shrug emoji is like Cupid's arrow to this guy. He fell in love instantly when he saw it in her bio. I don't know why he thought it was a compliment to say that she's like strange and different in a good way because pretty women are like boring or whatever, insinuates that a pretty girl can't have a personality. I don't know what the thought process was with that approach, but it's definitely a bold play.
I think you said something about live music. My job is actually live music. I play guitar and sing. I do about 25 shows a month. I know it sounds made up. I feel like I invented the job. It's redonkulous, but I live very comfortably. Life is good. I do play at a lot of retirement homes, and it's great for my self-esteem, Kels, as I am a big hit with women over 80.
Timeout. Timeout. Technical foul here. He just dropped a redonkulous. He just said redonkulous. And then not only that, in his only second voice message here, he's already just calling her Kels. They're not even on like a first name basis. They're not acquaintances. These are two complete strangers, and he's already giving her like a nickname. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, and just the night before, I'd been talking to one of my best friends in the world, Roxy. Just people that like match you and they just write hey. So if someone writes hey, I just write hi. And if someone writes sup, I go nothing much, you. And like people that match me and clearly haven't read my fucking bio, folks will match and be like, so what do you do for a living? I'm like, come on, Chelsea. Like, yeah, you're kind of cute, but I'm pretty damn sweet. Try harder.
Why are you even talking about this? You're like trauma dumping on this complete stranger right now that you've tracked down from a dating app to try and communicate directly with because you didn't match with her. What the fuck is this? Now you're just going on about like, dating apps are so weird. People just say like, hey. So then I'm like, hi. You don't know how to have a conversation. You didn't read the bio that I painstakingly typed up. I spent a long time on that bio and now I'm offended. Ridiculous. Excuse me, redonkulous.
I don't know. It's just to see someone mention that in a bio, I'm like, thank you. I could see that you feel the same as me. Yeah, if people, I always think that effort should match interest in dating. So if you're curious if someone's interested or not, remember that scene with Justin Long and what's her face in that movie about dating? Is it he's just not that into you? And he's like, if the guy's interested, he will call. And it's true. So I found a line a couple years ago and it's like, effort will always match interest. It will show you how interested someone is. And like, I'm pretty goddamn sweet. And I am not that lonely, bored, or horny. I'm not going to take breadcrumbs from someone if I want a sandwich. So if someone hits me with a hey or hi, you can go fuck yourself.
He's just sounding like a complete unhinged asshole here. It's not that deep. What do you mean they can just go fuck themselves? No one's even, like, what does this have to do with anything in this situation? This isn't even flirting. This is just blurting. He's just blurting out all of the most nonsensical shit in his head right now to a complete stranger. And not only that, this is probably not even his first take. I bet he recorded this like 10 times until he had one that was like, this is the one. This was smooth. And that's what we got here. We got the final product. This isn't even like the first draft, I doubt. That's mind-blowing.
I'm worth more. Damn it. This is where the Kelly Clarkson song comes in. Yeah, no, your bio is just, there was so much intentional effort put in, and honestly, the more I scroll down in the pics, I'm like, this does not match up. I don't want to sound like an asshole. Like, attractive people can also be interesting and funny, but it's just incredibly rare. I speak for myself, because I'd like to consider myself one of those.
That's the end of chapter 2 from the voice memos, but don't worry, there's still a finale, and it's the extended director's cut. The next one's over 5 minutes long. Also, he doubles down on this whole, like, yeah, you're, like, pretty, but you have a personality, which that just does not happen. I don't know why he thinks that that's some kind of, like, grand compliment. It's very odd. Now, before playing the 5-minute, 30-second monologue here, he must have seen that she listened to it. He's like, ha, gotcha, yeah, I gotcha, red-handed, you listen to it. Curiosity got the better of you. And then she says, dude, so you saw me on Bumble and found me on Facebook? How? Clearly very creeped out by it, understandably. And then he goes, oh, I honestly just typed in Kelsey and I guess I got lucky. I figured because you put live music we might have some friends in common or something. I blame Zuckerberg, and then laughing emoji. Which contradicts everything that he's said here, because he's constantly talking and referencing her bio, which I think is referring to her dating profile bio, especially because he does mention, like, online dating with Hayes and highs and shit. So I don't even know why he thought that would somehow save the situation. Like, she'd be fooled by it.
For the love of fuck, I was like 2 minutes into one, and it was awesome and funny, and I was so proud of it, and then someone called me again about a gig this evening, and it's like, you know that thing where your friends know you're busy or you're on a date or something, and then that's when they decide to call? Jesus Christ.
Excellent. Chef's kiss. This is how you start a romantic message. Ah, for the love of fuck. I was in the middle of something spectacular. You were gonna love it, Kels. You were gonna love it. Trust me. But then one of my fucking asshole friends called me about a gig, because I'm so busy being a successful live musician. Can you believe that, Kels? Can you believe that? It's like those things, you know, where, like, we both go on dates, right? I go on dates, clearly. You go on dates. And sometimes when you're just busy, people call. It's Jesus Christ.
But yeah, no, your bio was just the fucking bee's knees. I mean, listen, top 3 in, like, the hundreds or thousands I've seen. It was just, I don't know. I'm a very good judge of character, and you just seem like my kind of person. And I'm not saying we're star-crossed lovers. I don't know you, and you don't know me.
That's 100% correct. You don't know each other. So why are you doing this? This is not how you get to know someone. This is concerning. Also, you should never admit to seeing hundreds or thousands of dating profile bios. That makes you sound very desperate, that you spend all of your time on these dating apps, perusing it, cruising around, and if you don't match with someone you found attractive or interesting based on their bio, you go out of your way to find them elsewhere to try and talk to them, which is very scary behavior.
I fully accept how strange and unconventional this is. I got a vibe, and I figured I gotta go with it. I was, like, in a really good mood that day. I don't know. I'm totally winging it. But, yeah, a lot of my close friends are women, and everyone, unfortunately, has a couple stories of having to block someone's number, or an ex just won't leave them alone, or going to the cops. Fuck, dude, I've had to block a few numbers of crazy people that didn't know they were crazy. So I really, really apologize sincerely if this in any way, like, triggered that, or it was weird or whatever. Kelsey, that's the furthest thing from my intention. I just wanted to say howdy, and I figured if I talk like an idiot, you'd probably feel like I did after I looked at your bio.
It's so close. He's teetering on the edge of self-awareness. Him saying all of this out loud should have led to this eureka moment where he was overcome with immense shame, and he just presses the eject button and deletes the voice memo and doesn't continue this conversation. Like, he's clearly pointing out just how weird all of this is. He's even going into all of his friends are women who, you know, have stories about having to block crazy people who didn't know they were crazy. Like, case in point, what you're doing here, but you keep trying to, like, make it seem like it's not weird, even though you do keep acknowledging how weird it is. So, like, you're fighting, like, a battle against yourself in your own messages. You are calling yourself out in front of the person that you're talking to as well. It's really weird.
Oh, okay. It's not fair. You've seen mine, or sorry, I've seen yours and you have not seen mine. If you want, I will screenshot my Bumble bio. I'm quite proud of it. I think it's pretty fucking good. It represents me well. And what else would I want to know if I was you? gee, I'm like 6 feet tall, pretty damn handsome. I'd give me like a 7. No, like a 7.5 out of 10 looks wise. I mean, to my knowledge, no one has dated me for my abs or my hair. I'm guessing it's because I'm funny and honest and clearly very humble and go to therapy and emotionally intelligent.
It's not a job interview, bro. You don't need to be giving your resume here. Brother, just stop. Please. Goodness gracious.
7.5, maybe even an 8. I'm feeling really fucking good lately. I got a tan. I'm up to like 80-second side planks. I hate them, but they're totally worth it for the core. And big feet. So you know what that means, baby doll. Big socks.
You're scaring me. You are scaring me. Why would you do that? What? From way downtown here, he's throwing up a crazy jump shot. He immediately goes into, I've got big feet. You know what that means, baby girl. Oh my lord, please. Have mercy. Have mercy. Why? Why?
What else? I feel like I didn't tell you enough about the bio too. That shrug emoji was just, if nothing else, the fact that like you look like a Disney princess and you use that, I'm like, fuck it, I gotta talk to her. So, I was definitely getting strong Kirsten Bell vibes too, and she's awesome. I don't know if you listen to her husband's podcast, Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard. It's quite the reference, but I have a feeling you might know what that is. One of my favorite episodes, actually, is it Lauren Graham that plays Lorelai? She was on there. Anyway, I am all over the fucking place, as is my job.
You're also all over the place in this one-sided conversation. Now you're shouting out podcasts, talking about fucking shrug emoji again. It's hurting me listening to this. Let this be a lesson to everyone out there watching this. Just don't do anything even remotely like this. Never engage in a one-sided conversation where you have to be the one filling in blanks in a conversation that doesn't really exist.
But I'm sitting here, a middle-aged guy in his car with the AC on and a SpongeBob shirt, and I would call this like the technological version of, you know, when like Noah stops Allie in the Notebook and he's like, I had to talk to you when I see something I want. Yes, I just made a Notebook reference. I don't know. I'm being a total idiot right now. So if nothing else, I figured you'd have a laugh and a smile and you can fucking make fun of me to your friends. I don't know. Now you have a solo podcast for a guy that makes like $6,000 a month on a microphone being an idiot.
He was right. This is something that everyone can laugh about and have a big smile on their face, making fun of this whole situation. And then out of nowhere, he drops like his salary from his job, like to flex. He just like slides that in there, which I mean, it's an interesting strategy yet again. This guy's got a wild book of tricks.
I'm sorry, I don't normally bring up money, but I feel like I created my job out of thin air, and like I just submitted my 2022 taxes, and shit's been getting so much better the last few years, so I'm quite proud of it. That wasn't me trying to impress you, though, with money. I've got way more impressive shit than that. It just slipped out. I hope we could still be friends. Anyway,
Why leave it in there, then? You saying that clearly made you uncomfortable. You could have just deleted this and just tried again. Though I don't think you should have tried again regardless. This shouldn't have happened to begin with. But you yourself just made yourself puke in your mouth when you said your $6,000 a month out loud like that as like a flex, and you still let it ride. You still let this Beyblade rip. Why?
You look like a goddamn Disney princess. The bio completely floored me. I felt like it was written by a friend or something. I just got like strong, like fellow nerd, divergent, super cool, gregarious, happy person vibes. And yeah, so listen, I'm an open book. You probably figured that out like 6 overshares ago. If you have any questions for me, please hit me. Don't be shy. If you want, I'll share my bio. I feel like it's unfair that, I've seen yours and you haven't seen mine. I'm quite proud of my bio.
This entire situation has been nothing but overshares from you. She's not going to ask you any questions. No sane person would. It's not going to happen. This whole thing was a complete catastrophe. And once again, hung up on this fucking bio thing. They're just bios. Most people write them in 10 seconds. I don't know how long he spent, like, finally crafting his, but that is not the norm. I'm sure she didn't spend days coming up with her bio on here. I don't know how it resonated so strongly with this guy, but I bet after this whole song and dance, the woman here immediately just deleted her whole account, or at the very least removed the bio entirely.
Yeah, for the 80th time, I apologize if this was weird or like gave you any bad vibes. That's not my intention. Yeah, I gotta drive home now because I gotta go sing at a bar in Mississauga, and I have 4 more gigs this weekend, and it hurts to talk. So I'm sitting here in my car like a jackass, and yeah, I hope that all made some kind of sense. And if nothing else, please take the sincere compliment. I've seen hundreds of shitty bios, probably thousands, and yours was easily top 3. The only reason I'm not giving you number 1 is because then it would seem like I'm lying. But I'm a very genuine, honest person, and yeah. Actually, on my way home, I'm going to go to the park and feed the ducks. My favorite swan couple, Mr. Plump and Mrs. Plumfett, they just had babies a couple weeks ago. So, like, I'll run up and they recognize me and the babies are squeaking. The hierarchy of, like, waterfowl cute babies, it goes swan babies, then ducklings, and then goslings. But, yes, I may or may not do that 4 to 7 times a week. I'm a huge animal lover. Dogs are better than cats. Cats suck. Sorry if you have cats, but I'm sure your cat is cool.
That was one of the most peculiar lies I've ever heard. You're going to stop at the park on the way home so you can visit your favorite swan couple, Mr. Plumph and Mrs. Plumfett, because they just had babies a couple weeks ago, and they recognize you and get excited and start squeaking when you come by, like you're part of the family, part of the crew, part of the ship. What universe? What the fuck? That's not even something Dr. Seuss would write as like a little goofy side plot in a story. That is the biggest lie I've ever heard, for no reason, for no reason. The quirkiness is overloading, like the cup runneth over on quirk. Wow.
And yeah, take the compliment. Anyway, apologies if this totally intruded on your day, opposite of my intention. And yeah, your bio was fucking awesome. I mean, there's a couple other assets I noticed too, but I cannot mention them without sounding like a fuckboy, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm sure you've worked very hard to be in the shape you're in, but goddamn, lady. God damn, I would not kick you out of bed for eating crackers. So I figured if you are half as funny as you seem to be and half as cool as I got from that bio, I would say howdy. Yeah, all right. Hope this made you laugh and smile, and you have a fantastical day, Kelsey. Cheers.
And that's the grand finale of this whole situation, and what a journey it was. I find this to be probably the best example of the worst approach to romance imaginable. And like I said, this was not an isolated incident. He's done this before. And he's even used the same lines before. Which is it's so wild. It's so wild. I had to talk about it. I had to. So yeah, that's really about it. See ya. Whoa there, partner. Hold your horses. I bet you thought I had finally kicked my addiction to reading uncomfortable, cringy, weird text messages from the dating world. Well, do I have news for you, pal. I've only just begun on my bender here. I can quit anytime I want. It's not that big of a deal. I don't need electroshock therapy or any kind of mumbo-jumbo psychiatry to break me out of this rabbit hole. I don't have a problem. The only problem I have is that there isn't more of these for me to read, damn it. So anyway, let's begin. This morning, I hopped on and read 2 different stories here from relationships that fell apart in the most tragic and confusing of ways. So let's just dive right in. So we're reading from the perspective of the girlfriend in this relationship, and she's communicating with her boyfriend. They were coming up on their 3-year anniversary, but after this exchange, it all went right down the shitter. So it begins. Well, we're fucked. Pork chops went bad. My mom was getting ready to fry them and there was mold. To which the boyfriend just hits her with an okay. So she apologizes saying, I'm sorry, she's just gonna send me to get chicken alone because I already made mac. She's referring to mac and cheese, for those of you that don't understand the nomenclature there. Now, I think it's very important, as we go through this first story, that you know the ages of those involved. It's 25 and 27. The reason why I think that's important is because as we go through this story, I imagine most of you will assume that these are children, like literally 13 and 14-year-olds. But that's just not the reality of it. This guy is about to throw away a 3-year relationship and have a biblical meltdown over not getting some fucking pork chops. He continues giving her the ice treatment here, so he just goes, okay, no good. Actually speaking like a Neanderthal. She says, the pork chops were bad, we didn't know, I'm sorry, I tried to make you food. He just once again says, okay. She says, sorry again, he just says, cool. So this guy, he's going catatonic right now. We're losing him. He's flatlining. He's starving to death because the pork chops went bad. What is he gonna eat now? He's only a fucking 20-something-year-old man. He can't fend for himself without these pork chops. He's gonna die. She continues by saying, I really tried. Once again, just hits her with that okay. This is actually just like out of One Punch Man, that famous panel where Boros is powering up and One Punch Man just goes, okay. That is his whole personality. So he just goes, okay. And he says, you left? Yeah, she sent me to get chicken. He says, okay again, to which she just says, well, okay. She continues to profusely apologize for this whole situation here as if she did something wrong, even though she didn't. The pork chops just went bad. I don't know what he expects from her, to like sorcery away all of the mold or whatever on them, or somehow conjure up brand new pork chops from her ass, which is something she also mentioned in the comments. Like, I don't know what he wanted from me. Like, she even went to get other food that he could consume. Chicken, mac and cheese, there were other options besides the pork chops, but his mind is set on one thing: pork chops. He only has room in his noodle for one thought, and right now that thought is pork chops. So now that he realizes he's not getting them, he's about to go berserk over this whole situation here. Cool, you got to eat. I didn't for waiting on you. Good night. Okay, good night. I love you too. No, bro. Good night. I could have ate, but I waited on you, of course. You could have just eaten regardless. So the poster here, she went into detail about all of the context around this. So apparently he had said he was going to go get food, and she mentioned that she was making pork chops with her mom later. So he said, oh, okay, well then I'll just eat the pork chops with you and your mom and I won't get food. To which she replied saying, no, you can still get food and you're also welcome to have these pork chops. But being the noble chivalrous man that he is, he put down the food that he was going to purchase and instead was going to eat these pork chops, which didn't end up happening. And when he didn't get served his pork chops on a golden platter, he just refused to eat, crossed his arms, kicking his legs in his high chair. Well, then I'm just going to starve. So even though she had other food he could eat, the chicken, the mac and cheese, he just didn't. And then also didn't feed himself at any point throughout the rest of the night, I guess because he was still so fuming with steam coming out of his ears. And also, according to her in the comments, the reason he didn't eat the chicken and mac and cheese is because he only likes his chicken prepared in the most simple way ever. So he didn't like the way the chicken was prepared, and he also doesn't like mac and cheese, which is already giving me red flags. I don't know anyone that doesn't like mac and cheese in some capacity. That's making him seem already off his gourd just from that simple fact alone. But yeah, he refuses to eat for the rest of the night, all because he couldn't have those pork chops. She says, I tried to cook. I didn't know they were bad. I couldn't have known until they defrosted. I don't care, bro. I shouldn't have waited. They made food, but I had to wait on you. Some bullshit. Good night. Oh my god, this insufferable, whiny asshole. Those pork chops must have been, like, heavenly, divine. Like, to just give up food for the rest of the night and then ruin a 3-year relationship, those pork chops gotta taste immaculate. Like, not only do they have to taste amazing, they have to come with legitimately life-changing benefits in order to have this kind of fucking tantrum over them. Like, taking a bite of those pork chops instantly chisels out your jawline a little bit further or something. I just don't know what kind of pork chops would be worth all of this anger. She apologizes again, saying, well, I'm sorry, good night, I love you too. Bro, stop telling me that. I am so tired of this guy saying bro to his girlfriend. He clearly has no respect for her whatsoever. He then throws a term out I've never seen before. He says UPMO. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that stands for, so I looked it up, and usually it's an abbreviation for Project Management Office. But that doesn't really fit in the context of this conversation. I imagine it has to be an insult. I don't think he just came out of nowhere saying, you Project Management Office. So it must stand for something else, but I still can't piece it together. Maybe you pussy monster outcast? I couldn't tell you. Never mind, now I can tell you. I just took an additional 10 minutes looking through Twitter to see anyone else who has ever used that abbreviation, and apparently it means you piss me off. Wow. Fucking oof. That is so cringe, Jesus Christ. But anyway, she says, I mean, I do, but okay, referring to loving him. And then he just says, I don't want to talk to you. And then she just says, okay, good night, I love you. He then comes back around as all of these unhinged weirdos do, where they're like, don't talk to me, I don't want to talk to you, good night. And then he just keeps fucking going and going and going and spewing. So he comes back and says, at all. Not tomorrow either. I don't care. This is bullshit. Good night. You're fucking selfish. Fuck you for real. I really don't want to talk to you or see you. Honestly, I'll remember this. Good night. I mean, he's speaking like it's the Walking Dead Telltale game. Goofball will remember this. I mean, obviously he's going to remember this. You just had a fucking meltdown over pork chops. Everyone's going to remember this. So then she's confused, like, what did I do? You said you don't want to talk to me, so I'm leaving you alone. He then says, fuck you, please leave me alone. Get the fuck out. And then she just says, you're the one texting me just to say leave you alone. And then he again comes in, I don't want to talk or see you at all. And then she just, again, I didn't even respond to you. Okay, good night, I love you too. Just trying to get out of this conversation because he just keeps coming back to just say, leave me alone. Stop talking to me. Why aren't you talking to me? Hey, stop talking to me. I'm texting you one more time just to let you know. Don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. It's craziness. It's craziness. So this is the end of the text message screenshots, but the story continues. Right after this, the following morning, he continued this behavior, this attitude, and ended up dumping her because of this whole pork chop fiasco, which is a huge blessing in disguise for her because this is not a good partner. This is a crazy person. To have this level of blow up over not getting pork chops, wow, that is some concerning delusion. So she does expand on it a little bit. He continued to insult her the following day before dumping her. So just really just a piece of shit all around. And I just had to talk about this one because I don't think I've ever seen a relationship, at least of this long, 3 years. They apparently were saving up for a house, end over something so trivial. I haven't seen a relationship crumble over something so meaningless like this. This is a wild case here. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this one a little bit. I know I said I was going to do 2, but I've kind of been yapping about this one for quite a while now, so maybe I'll just save the second one for tomorrow and I'll let it be like a little teaser. I think that's what I'll do. This will be your little appetizer for tomorrow's, where I cover the other really unbelievably awful relationship crumbling text messages. But anyway, I feel bad for the girl here, but I am happy to know that they're not together anymore. I think that's a very good thing for her going forward. I know it's going to be tough for a little while, but wishing her the best. And for the dude in the story here, wishing him nothing but really bad mac and cheese and no pork chops for the rest of his life. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. I just got out of the shower, which is why my hair is so sodden and makes me look like the girl out of the Ring movies, but I needed to freshen up. I had to spruce myself up for this because today is a special occasion here. Many of you are aware, and some of you have probably even said a few prayers for my mental health, that I have been lost in the abyss of cringy, unhinged, weirdo text messages and bad dates that have been shared when it comes to romance. I have been glued to it. And today, we have a celebrity appearance here. Can we get a round of applause? Like, we made it. We went from just like a couple of really lunatic Redditors to an actual superstar celebrity making an appearance on this little segment here that I like to do. So anyway, let's get into it. So the superstar in question is the former Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker Ryan Shazier. This is a name many of you have probably heard of before because in 2017 his career was ended after a tackle went wrong that left him paralyzed. And over the years, since 2017, he has relearned to walk. It's actually an incredible story and an incredible recovery he's made. But unfortunately, he decided to cheat on his wife, allegedly. And his wife posts the screenshots yesterday from the alleged affair. I'm not going to show you every text message because a lot of them are just extremely boring and stiff. It's just the world's worst small talk. The things they say to each other is more robotic than like a throwaway conversation from side characters in Fallout 4. So I'm just going to show you the main ones that I want to focus on. So this is the first one from Michelle's Instagram. Now, it is worth mentioning this post is deleted. I imagine that is mainly due to it now being a legal matter, would be my understanding. I would imagine Ryan's lawyers are on this now. But anyway, she says, a person that loves his family, this is what they do to their family, the wife. that has been there for him since day one. Infidelity at its finest. I can't sit here and keep hiding anymore. You can have it. I deserve better. This is Ryan. He's a liar and a cheater, and then we can turn our attention to the contents of the text messages. He was allegedly cheating on his wife with a woman named Marie, and this is the first one I believe she shared. So it begins, oh, okay, haha. Glad she's not tripping though. She seems really cool and fun, like I'd be friends with her, lol. Like, look at you. And then it's a picture of Ryan and Marie. And then he just says, yeah, make that picture look good. I'm a little confused here because it sounds like Marie is aware of Ryan's wife and just doesn't care. And then Ryan then goes on to say in the following messages there, saying that she's super cool, referring to his wife again. That is a really odd conversation to be having with the person you're cheating on your wife with, and then talking about how you'd be friends with her probably. So, before getting into more of the text messages, I think it's important to mention that Ryan is claiming that him and his wife have been separated and that he just wants his privacy from all of these allegations. I guess it's hard to know for sure what the truth is here, but with the text messages and the post from his wife, it really seems like they're not on the same page when it comes to whatever their relationship currently is. It sounds like more of an affair as opposed to a we're separated, so this is totally okay kind of thing. But anyways, I'd like to move on and really give your eyeballs a treat here with what I believe to be the most baffling exchange in flirting history. So, Ryan says, I like a lot, and I believe he meant I like you a lot to Marie. She replies by saying, I like you a lot, lol. And then Ryan replies with 2 book recommendations, like it's some kind of summer reading assignment here. He links her to 2 books, like it's a Friday night book club. The first one being The Ultimate Guide to Anal Sex for Women, 2nd edition, and the other, Blow by Blow, a step-by-step guide on how to give blowjobs so explosive that he will be willing to do anything for you. I was giggling so hard. She's like, I like you a lot, and then Ryan says, hit the books. You've got some homework to do. And I've seen a lot of people mention that as well. Like his first response to I like you a lot is, well, it's time to get your mandatory assignments in here in order to take this to the next level. And I absolutely was giggling so hard reading the first book, The Ultimate Guide to Anal Sex, mainly because it's the 2nd edition. Like, what do you mean? What changed in anal over the course of these book publications' history? Like, surely the 1st edition is still applicable. An asshole still functions the same way. We haven't evolved that much over the years. But they came back for the 2nd edition. Like, maybe analingus wasn't in there, like they weren't eating butt. And then the 2nd edition, they have like a whole dedicated chapter to eating butt and then like debunking old scientific claims about, you know, how to properly clean out the colon before anal or something. I have no idea. But the fact that he recommended the 2nd edition had me absolutely howling for a little minute. It reminded me of being back in college when they give you like this very specific textbook that you have to use for class. Like, no. You can't use Anatomy and Physiology 2, 3rd edition. That is obsolete and outdated. You have to use Anatomy and Physiology 3.5, obviously. And then it's like an extra $200 for that .5 edition book. Like, that's what he did to her with that. We don't have like a follow-up on what she says after the book links were dropped, but I have to imagine she was fucking flabbergasted. I like you a lot. Bang. Here's how to be better with your mouth and your ass. Like, oh, like that seems insulting. It's like he's calling all that weak for her or something. Like it feels like he's taking a shot at her here. Like you're gonna have to upgrade. Start studying, please. This is ridiculous. I just couldn't believe that. I've never seen such an interesting maneuver here. What a crazy strategy from Ryan. But anyway, let's go back into some more texts. You know what I need. Shake my head. You didn't bring a coat. I'm glad you like. And oh, I did. Haha, it's on my lap. And then she sends a selfie. Shake my head, wear it. He's shaking his head a lot here. Like, I don't know why he's sounding so disappointed in her. I have a zip up on too, haha. Lol, you can't change the temp in your office. This is the worst flirting ever, I swear to God. What in the world? This is so bad. I tried, but it's not working, haha. I'm just all bundled up. I want you on top of me / next to me and my fireplace, lol. That would be nice. And then he replies to the "I tried, but it's not working." He just says, "That sucks." Oh, brother, ChatGPT spits out better flirting than this. Like, I could have a more erotic conversation with an AI model. Like, this is rough. I'll just show you one more of the text messages that were shared. So Marie sends him a mirror selfie. I believe she's wearing a bikini top, but the quality's kind of bad, so it could just be bare breasts, and I just can't see the nipple in there because the quality's so low. There's a lot of JPEG and pixelation on the re-uploads now, but I think she's wearing a bikini top, and then says, "Enjoy some random pics / vids from Mexico." He at one point said that he had bad memory, to which she replies, "Aw, baby, haha, it's okay. Memory is just what I'm good at. You're literally the strongest person I've ever met." He goes, "I don't know about that." She says, "That's what I think at least. Do you like the pics?" And then he goes, "Goddamn, just seeing these." And she says, "I'm glad you like." Her having to ask his opinion on the photos is brutal. If I sent a dick pic to someone and I'm met with crickets, silence, and then like the next text message they send is unrelated to that dick pic, I'm going and I'm crying in my bathtub. Like I'm putting on, you know, Inya, and I'm in my feels. I sent you my cock and you say nothing? What have I done wrong? It's wacky to me that he had to be asked about it in order to acknowledge the pictures and the videos she sent. But anyway, yeah, there still is, I guess, a little confusion around what the truth is here, if they really are, like, split up and they're not in a relationship anymore and all of this happened after they split up. I guess we just don't know yet, but I do feel like his wife probably wouldn't call him a liar and a cheater if this didn't happen while they were still together. So, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this continues to develop, but I just had to talk about these text messages because, goodness gracious, that's really about it. So yeah. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. So a big drama story developing in the Blade and Soul community. So all 8 people that still play Blade and Soul were just outraged. One of their biggest streamers, Good Games Greg, turns out was threatening his fans with suicide if they didn't send him nudes. And some of the chat logs were leaked by the girls, and today at Splash TV we decided to investigate it and dive a little further, and even reenact one of the plays that he made. Obviously it wasn't meant as a play, but that's how it kind of comes across because it's so fucking silly. And yeah, that's about it. Obviously Good Games Greg didn't actually kill himself or anything, he was just trying to manipulate the girls into sending him nudes, so he's kind of a piece of shit. The only really good one, well, actually the last 4 are pretty good, but the one that is green, it's Victim 2, Evidence 1.
Okay, way to make it like a fucking court case. Victim 2, Evidence 1, is that what you said?
Yes, if the jury could please go to their handbooks here and flip to that page as well. We'll all read along together.
Is this the same guy as this Greg?
Yeah, this is Good Games Greg, or as I like to call him, Good Nudes Greg. Isn't that a nice wisecrack, Kaya? You haven't heard that one before.
Huh.
So basically a general overview, Kaya. I think it's apt that we do that, since Splash TV investigative journalists were the first ones to break this story a couple days after it happened. So what we found was that this streamer for Blade and Soul, which is, you know, it's a video game, Kaya.
No, you suck. Come on.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried. Go take it away, Kaya.
Do you even have ominous music?
No.
Well,
I mean, I can play the trumpet.
What was that thing? Oh yeah, Splash TV. So Splash TV, Dateline, NBC. No, actually, we get sued for that.
Thank you for tuning in. This is To Catch a Nude Predator.
Yeah, this is To Catch a Lawsuit. Online chat forums. They used to be plentiful, but now there aren't many except for Discord. But are your children safe? They might be watching streamers like Good Gamer Greg. I forgot his name. Either way, tonight in a special investigation, date night,
Ooh.
FBC, Charles Hansen is in charge of this investigation. Take it away, Charles.
So, we cracked a big story today, Kaya the Swift. What we found was that a popular Blade and Soul streamer was actually threatening suicide to his underage, well, not all underage fans, I don't mean to misrepresent the good fellow, but threatening suicide to his female fans if they didn't send him nudes. Can you believe this? Can you believe the audacity of this man, Kaya?
Yes.
Alright.
I can believe anything evil that comes out of YouTube. But can you at home believe it, dear watchers over the age of 50 who may have children or nephews or grandkids in high school? You will not believe the evil crawling on this website called YouTube. Not only is it corrupting your kids, it might soon take away your TV. No more Fox, no more NBC, no more CNN.
And then once it takes away your TV, it's coming for your guns too. That's right, folks. But today we're gonna focus on the big story. Good Games Greg, also known as Good Nudes Greg, as I call him. That's a pretty good wisecrack. Is
To show you
actually
these heinous crimes, we will now reenact the horrible act of him soliciting nudes from an probably suspected underage individual who is very uncomfortable with them, but appears to be a weeb, just like him. So she cannot just block him, she has to drag it on and on and on. And scene. Who do you want to play?
I think you do Greg justice. You would definitely do Greg justice when he's like fading away.
Alright.
So I'll play the
I don't know
girls.
if
You
that's
can
a
play Greg.
compliment, but alright.
It was 1:36 a.m. Greg received a message. Yes, I know.
Idaho, Texas, 22 p.m. That was so wrong. Literally everything about that was fucking terribly wrong. The 24-hour format plus the PM. And you leave it in, whatever.
It's fine. Yeah. We'll roll.
Alright,
So,
yeah,
alright.
from the top, sorry.
Okay. Yes, I know.
Sai, send me some pictures of you, okay? Hello?
You had me terrified.
Well, not normal pics.
Nani? You like that going off book there a little bit?
That was a curveball. Sorry, okay. Well, fuck. Send me some pictures, okay? Not those kind of pictures.
Hmm?
You know what I mean?
I thought you didn't care about stuff like that.
It's different this time.
And why's that?
Because of the situation. You promised.
I really don't want to.
Don't break your promise. You know what will happen.
It's sexual, and I'm highly against stuff like that.
You agreed no limitations. I'm trusting you with my life. So keep your promise?
There's got to be something else.
No. It's the only thing. The fact that it's hard for you is why it will work.
I don't want to do it, because you're just going to post it everywhere.
No, I will not. I promise I will not even keep it. You have my word. I'll look at the pics once and not even save them.
Yeah, I love that. No, believe me, I'm only looking at them one time. Then you'll just use it for your own pleasure.
And you can remove them from the conversation. No, I won't. I'm not like that. You should know that by now. You can't trust me. I'm trusting you with my life. Trust me to be honest.
I'm really not comfortable with sending nudes to people.
I know you aren't. If you were comfortable doing it, it wouldn't be special.
That's some fucking sick shit right there, Greg.
That is fucking stupid, yeah.
And how would it ever prove that I cared about you?
Would you ever do this if you didn't care about me?
I wouldn't do it to people I even care about now.
Just keep your promise. I'm starting to feel sick.
I'm not going to send nudes. It goes against all my morals.
So you would rather I kill myself than keep your promise?
I'd rather you not kill yourself, and I'd rather not send nudes.
Are you scared that I won't be trustworthy with them?
It's not that. It's more the fact that I have some dignity as a woman, and I'm not going to throw it all away.
Maybe not full nudes.
Oh, I have to zoom in on this one. The case study gets smaller.
Yeah, me too.
Still, I'm not gonna show you just my boobs either.
So you're breaking your promise?
I don't want to, but if you're really gonna put me against my dignity as a woman and sending nudes, I'm going to have to go with my dignity. I'm not a slut.
I'm not asking you to be a slut. I'm asking you to trust me and show me you really care about me. I'm not asking you to sleep with me. Just a minor flash. I'm not even that sexually attracted to people I'm dating, so it's not really sexual for me. It's trust. Think of it as chaining in front of your sister or something.
What the fuck? It's not. It's trust. The only way to really trust someone is to get the nudes. That's how me and my dad really came to trust each other too. There's other ways to test my trust.
This is the only way I can be certain. It's like those cheesy, like, oh, I have to inspect your boobs. It's like cheesy. It's like a porn intro.
It really is.
I have to conduct a inspection of your buttocks. Anyway, okay. This is the only way I can be certain. If it makes you feel better, I can send one in return. Since I'm deciding to trust you too, and since I'm kind of famous online, it's a much bigger risk for me.
I don't want a nude of you.
I just offered to make you feel better. I've never even taken a pic like that before.
Also, I'm not going to let you do something so dumb at the risk of your own job.
Why? Are you not trustworthy to not post it online? I'm willing to trust you and risk my job to show that you can trust me.
You are recording this, right, Kai? Like, I don't want to have to read this whole thing for no reason.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Oh, shit, minimized. Okay.
He scared me. I'm not gonna do something so stupid. You shouldn't do something like that so easily.
Wait, I lost my place. Okay.
It's stanza
Why?
4 of Act 3.
Why? I'm about to kill myself. Compared to that, nothing really matters.
There's other ways to do this. Also, suicide should never be an option. If the only way to be certain if someone cares about you
Jesus, you butchered that.
This is a tough one.
Wow.
If the only way to be certain if someone cares about you at all is for them to send you nudes.
Sigh. Just never mind, okay? Forget all this. I knew it was dumb to trust you or think you cared. I'm just going to end my life. I'm sorry I made your life worst. The worst? He's not even being generous there.
No, not at all. I'm not going to forget this.
I'm giving you a choice then. Keep your promise or I kill myself. I hate to make the choice, but you knew the choice when you made the promise.
I pick neither.
If you don't pick, it'll be the second one.
Or we could get you help.
Help won't help. Help what a stupid sentence. You gave me the fucking hard one. You knew.
No, just wait till we get to the really confusing parts. We get some James Joyce level shit.
Help won't help. I've tried. Just never mind. Choice 2 it is.
You really do need help. And maybe you just didn't try it in a good environment. Please?
Sigh. I'm just going to get this over with. What was that, a fucking buzzer?
How do I make
the wrong answer? Okay. At least say goodbye.
I'm not gonna say goodbye, because I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow, and that's a promise.
I won't be alive tomorrow. I'm doing this right now.
I'm still going to talk to you tomorrow.
If that's your choice. Talk to his corpse. Oh, the next one is really tiny, and you can't even zoom in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's my line.
Mm-hmm.
Promise we get to talk tomorrow?
I'll be dead.
Then don't, so you can keep the promise.
You have to keep your promise. Well, I have the pills here ready. I'll give you one last chance to keep your promise.
Like, hey, there's a finger on the trigger. Yeah, I've already got the pills. Come on, one last chance before I do it. I'm not gonna send you nudes.
Okay then. I'm taking the pills now then.
You're just gonna throw your life away? That easily?
I've been suicidal a long time, and it's already done. If I don't get medical attention soon, I'll be dead.
Then call 911.
No. Goodbye, okay? I'm sorry for everything.
Sorry I couldn't help.
You could. All you had to do was keep your promise. Sorry, that turned real gangsta all of a sudden. You could. All you had to do was keep your promise.
There was other ways to test my trust in my care. Why did she capitalize some shit out of nowhere? It's like book titles.
I don't know. But it's okay. You're better off without me.
You have another line under that? Scroll down.
Oh, motherfucker. Wait. Oh, yeah, okay. Sorry, I haven't typing.
No, I'm not. This will probably be the worst day ever.
Curb your promise. I'll call at 911. Can't keep eyes open much longer. Okay.
No.
I know you didn't care.
I really did care.
No.
Yes.
Prove it.
Well, according to you, the only way to prove it would be to send you nudes.
You'd rather I die.
The only thing to save this dying man is nudes. He's just, I imagine him falling off of his computer chair, reaching up. Please, nudes. No, I didn't want you to die.
Keep it up. Still a little time.
It's too late if you're already this bad.
Hospital only 4 miles away. You're a fucking idiot, Greg. Wow, if you're watching this, good God.
Then go.
I promise.
That's probably my favorite line in all of fucking Shakespearean history. Kier prums. I'm not going to send you nudes.
Just one. No face. No face.
Still not going to do that.
Bye then.
Bye then, I guess. In scene. God. Take notes, Broadway. This is how you make a script.
How old is he? I have
He's
to look
like-
it him up.
He's like mid-20s, I believe.
It's way too old then. If he's anything older than 14, this doesn't go.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's about the only one that's going to be fun to reenact, though. Everything else is just more sad.
Well, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the only way to prevent yourself from dying of a toxic overdose of pills is to direct all of the blood flow from your heart to your penis. And the only way to achieve this is to get nudes.
The only way.
Unfortunately, this lady, or rather this little girl probably, was having none of it. She wouldn't help.
Greg died that day. Rest in peace.
Greg died
Good
that day,
kid. Yeah, he didn't
despite
make
being
it.
only 4 miles away from the hospital.
It was truly sad, and we're sorry to break the story like this. He was a good games guy, and we're sorry for Greg's passing. If you want to check out his channel, though, he just recently released some new Blade and Soul content. You might want to check it out. It's good stuff. Fucking promote his channel.
Yeah, no, fuck him. I could not have less empathy for this asshole.
He's such a sick fuck, bro. He did the other chat logs, like I said, they're boring, but a few of the other ones, he did the same thing. Are you gonna send me nudes or am I gonna have to kill myself? It's fucking sick. He's an actual fucking
They're
villain.
not funny at all.
Not at all. It's he just says it like that. He's like, "Are you gonna send me nudes or am I gonna have to kill myself?"
Yeah. Why would he do this on his own fucking face and account? What an idiot.
Why would he
I like
do
how
this
he
at
says
all?
he's famous and huge too. Like I'm taking such a huge risk. I have 600 subscribers.
Well, actually, he fucking tanked himself with this. I went on the Blade and Soul subreddit and they're making memes about curb your prompts.
Oh. That's good actually. Fuck
Yeah,
him.
he fucking destroyed himself now. So I guess he was taking a much bigger risk.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Idiot.
Yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit though. Like a real piece of shit. So yeah, that about wraps up this story. Yeah, that's all something that recently
yeah,
happened.
he's a piece of shit. Thanks for
Yeah.
tuning in.
Yeah.
to Date Night FBC Splash TV, the special heebie-jeebie whatever
Boogie woogie oogie.
chatlock reading.
See ya. Good morning, everyone. I hope the holiday season has been kind to you. As we approach the new year, I wanted to bestow upon you some sage wisdom. As we get into 2024, I imagine many of you are going to choose a New Year's resolution to be more confident, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you go a little too hog wild and immediately blow it and pretty much fail the New Year's resolution before it even begins. This exchange was shared today. The two people here have met a few times and there was nothing odd about any of it. Now, out of the blue, this guy says, "Can I say something weird?" and then sends that face. When that face hits the text messages, you know shit is about to go downhill immediately. Nothing good ever comes from seeing that face. It's like Bloody Mary in the mirror. But she says, of course, with an exclamation point, almost excited to hear what weird thing he's about to explain. So he goes, He starts charging up his Kamehameha here. He's about to drop a fucking nuclear bomb on this conversation and this friendship. So here it comes. Happy New Year. I just saw a post celebrating fat beauty, and you were the fat beauty closest to the top of my contacts, and then drops this hot emoji here. So I just wanted to check in and say hi. And they say chivalry's dead. If that line doesn't get you laid, nothing will. Flirting has never looked so good. So how did she respond to this silver-tongued devil? Holy fucking hell. We'll just casually act like you didn't just say that. And he's dumbfounded. He can't process what went wrong here. He goes, I understand how that was the wrong thing for me to say. Actually, I don't. Please explain how I can prevent making someone uncomfortable in the future. It's like an exit survey after customer service experience. What did you appreciate and what did you not appreciate? How can we improve in the future? I have no doubt this was the last thing she was expecting after saying that she'd like to hear something weird. But anyway, I'll go ahead and break it down for you, brother, on where this bulletproof strategy went awry. Let me give you like a counterexample maybe to help illustrate the point. Let's say there was someone I was talking to that I was somewhat romantically interested in, and I opened this conversation by saying, hey, so I just read this post about stupid bitches, so naturally I thought of you. How are you? It wouldn't exactly go over well now, would it? So you coming out of the blue, guns blazing, calling her fat, is not exactly the compliment that you may have thought it was. But anyway, there is another series of text messages I wanted to talk about because it had me giggling this morning. There was an individual giving away 100 articles of clothing, and somebody wanted to come claim them. But things really took a turn for the worst. It starts innocent enough. Are the clothes available? To which they say, yes, please God, take them. Very clearly wanting to get rid of all of these clothes. And then they ask for the location. After receiving the coordinates to the rendezvous, they ask, can you meet me in blank? So meeting at a different location that's a little closer to them. To which they understandably say, no, I'm not meeting for free stuff. And then say, I can gove you $10 to brung them, okay? And they just say no again. It's an almost adorable sentence. I can gove you $10 to brung them. It's like baby talk in text message format. It reminds me of the dialogue in the game Bug Snacks. Now, This individual clearly does not want to drive out of their way to deliver free stuff to this person, not even for $10, because that's a wild inconvenience to them. They're giving away the free stuff. If you want it, it should be on you to come get it. Like, it's not their responsibility to drive an hour out of their way to deliver it to this stranger. Jesus, thanks. Keep them then. I have a newborn Jesus, which is a huge statement to make. We've got Jesus Christ coming back for round 3, I guess, because she just gave birth to him. I don't have time to waste it. Do you want them gone or not? I don't know why she's trying to flip this around and haggle with this individual who's trying to give away the free clothing. Like, obviously, they want them gone, but they're not going to drive an hour out of their way to get rid of them. It's not that big of a deal. Whoever wants them can come get them, and if no one comes and gets them, I'm sure they would have no problem just donating them to, like, Goodwill or something. This lady has no leverage in this negotiation here whatsoever. So do you want them gone or not? Your only option is to bring them an hour over here to me. Like, no, clearly, that's not the only choice to be making here. That's the bad ending. That's like the stupid ending. If you do that, you have done a big fucking blunder. They say, I do, but I'm not driving an hour round trip. If you want them, you'll get them. If not, someone else will. The brass tacks, the cold hard facts, the cold water. That is the truth right there. If you want them, come get them. If you don't, someone else will. They then ask for the address and then say, it's not that far from blank, and blank is 10 to 15 minutes from blank. Everything's redacted here like a CIA document, so it's a little hard to keep up with. But they're still trying to find a way for them to bring the clothes closer to them so it's more convenient for them to pick up the free shit. They say, I live closer to blank, so 50 minutes, so yeah, you could meet me to blank. That would help us both. Thanks if you would be nice. And they just, again, say no. This sets her off, and she goes, bitch, have a good day. I have kids, me and I live further than you, and I was ready to pay, have a good day. To which they say, I have kids too, doesn't make you special. I ask because everything expensive, I would drive down me for someone, obviously English people are actually asshole. Anyway, I wouldn't be like you, me, I would do halfway for someone that's need it. Obviously you have money, so you don't give a shit apka about any but yourself. You were rude. That's also what I didn't like. Instead of figuring something out for both of us as well, so you're mama person, not me? I'm not sure what that word is because it's blocked by the arrow. One of the most difficult to read statements I've ever read since trying to read Finnegan's Wake. I recognize English may not be her first language here, but goodness gracious, that was a lot to try and get a grasp on here. So I believe what she's trying to say is that if the roles were reversed, and she was the one giving away free clothes, she would have no problem driving an hour out of her way to give them to someone. Which is a load of dirty barnacles. What a fucking load of fish paste. What are you talking about? You won't even drive over here and get the free clothes that she's offering. You're making a big stink about it. So how the fuck am I supposed to believe that you would drive an hour out of your way to bring someone else free clothes when you won't even go here to get them without making a huge deal out of trying to get her to come to you instead? What a ridiculous statement. What an outright fucking lie. You're telling a fib. And liars will go to hell because it's a sin. She also wasn't rude, by the way. She's giving away free clothes and you're trying to take advantage of her kindness and try and push her to do even more for you, for your own convenience. You are the rude asshole, not the person giving away the free clothes. I know things are expensive, that's why I'm giving these away, but I'm not spending time driving to meet someone just to give them away. Like, would you? I would have paid with the only little money I have, so thanks. Yes, I would. Thanks. Go to church. What are you talking about? She's not asking for money and she doesn't need you to gove her $10 to brung them. Like that, just go get the clothes. She is already giving these things away for free. Just go get them instead of trying to shame her for not driving an hour out of her way for a fucking stranger who's too lazy to go do it herself. Like, that is entirely a you problem, not her. And I don't know why you're trying to tell her to go to church. Why don't you go to church, plant your ass in one of the pews and pray for forgiveness for one of the 7 deadly sins of sloth, because you're so fucking lazy that you won't go do the bare minimum and instead start being an asshole to this person who's just giving away free clothes. The conversation concludes with, I definitely do not have money, what an assumption, go to hell. And she goes, great, exactly, shouldn't say that word. What are you talking about? You literally called her a bitch like 3 messages ago. What, saying bitch is okay but not hell? HE double hockey sticks is too far? What is going on? How can you be such a miserable piece of shit? Like, this person is already giving away free clothes. And instead of just going to get them and saying thank you, you try and shame them into driving an hour out of their way for your own convenience. How can you be so selfish? The entitlement here is absolutely incomprehensible. I just had to talk about it. This one had me giggling, but also fuming a little bit. Just trying to understand how people like this exist. This is free items that you are making a huge problem out of because they won't drive an hour out of their way for you for it. It's so crazy to me. But anyway, yeah, I just want to talk about these a little bit. That's it. See ya. Today I thought it'd be nice to give you all a free lesson in negotiating. Negotiations when it comes to doing business are a bit of a headache, a nuisance, and it's just this push and pull battle back and forth, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. But what if it did? Every single time? What if every time you entered into a negotiation, you knew you would be victorious? You want to get yourself a new Stanley Cup but don't feel like forking over 50 clams for it? Well, then it's time to employ this negotiating tactic and get yourself a 100% off discount. That shit will be free. In fact, this is so effective that they'll probably start paying you to take the items away from them. It's that powerful. I first learned this forbidden jutsu from an anonymous hero on the Facebook marketplace who really opened my eyes to it. So I want to do the same for you. And I'll just go ahead and say it now. You're welcome. So it all begins with an individual trying to sell their motorcycle on the Facebook marketplace, and then they received this message. And I don't think they were prepared for this. That motorcycle was as good as gone the second this was sent. So they reach out and they say, "Hello, I know this is a lot to ask, but would you consider letting me have the motorcycle for free?" Pause. That's how you do it right there. Immediately letting his intentions be known. There's no guesswork here. There's really no haggling either. It's like, "Excuse me, have you considered letting me have this for free? I know you're trying to sell it for money, but what about just letting me have it?" Now, I don't want to scare you away with science, but I do want to dive a bit deeper here on why this is so effective. There's a psychological explanation for this. People love to have their questions answered with another stupider question. It makes us feel great. It's like this nice euphoric high. It's like smoking the crack pipe, but much worse. So in this instance, I know the guy selling his motorcycle had never, even for a fucking iota of a second, considered just giving away his motorcycle for free to a total stranger. But now that the idea has been planted in his head by that stranger, it's given him a lot to think about. And that changes the whole dynamic of the negotiation. Now, all the power is on the guy who's asking for it for free. You see how it works? It's very clever. We're dealing with a true genius. And he wastes no time getting very personal here to get an emotional investment from the seller, trying to tug on his heartstrings. So he's going for like this extremely powerful 1-2 combination wallop here to try and get this bike for free. So he says, "It's for my elderly dad, and he lost his car due to financial issues, and he is dirt poor on a super low pension, and I don't work as I'm looking after him until I get another job, as I lost my trucking company to a fucking rotten," and then he drops a slur. If that doesn't bring a tear to your eye, then I don't know what will. You have no soul. His elderly father, he lost his car due to financial issues, and now he needs a motorcycle, as all elderly men need. Like, how is he supposed to get from point A to point B without a free motorcycle now? What do you expect him to do? Walk? It's ridiculous. He's elderly. And the individual here doesn't have a job to provide for him, so he's doing the best he can to get him some transportation, which just happens to be a fucking motorcycle. Maybe he's trying to get his dad killed. I have no idea. Maybe this is all an elaborate assassination plot. I am looking for someone with a heart that is willing to help a person in need. And then caps lock. "My dad is 78 years old and is at his breaking point, and the next person who refuses to say yes and help will be held responsible if anything happens to my dad, as he is ready to let go of life." So now the stakes have never been higher. His father is 78 years old. At his breaking point, the only thing keeping him alive is the hope of a free motorcycle. Will you do it? Do you have a heart to save his life? Because if he doesn't get this motorcycle, goddammit, it's going to be the end of him. And even if he gets the motorcycle, it's going to be the end of him then too. But in a much bigger blaze of glory, I think. I imagine it's 78 years old, and in as rough a shape as this guy describes him, that motorcycle would be his vessel straight to fucking Valhalla. that would be messy. But it's what he wants. All right? And are you going to do it or not? Are you going to follow the Lord's wishes and treat thy neighbor the way thy would like to be treated? With a free motorcycle? Because if you don't, you will be responsible for it. So keep that in mind, Buster. I think this is negotiating at its finest form. So he's pulling out all the stops here for the free motorcycle, trying to get the waterworks going with a sob story, but immediately drops a fucking slur in the middle of it, and then caps locks a threat, too. This is an unhinged maniac we're dealing with today. I usually blank out the Facebook profile pictures in these kind of messages, but this one is just so fitting because he has a clown as his profile pic, and it couldn't be more poetic, because this guy is truly a fucking loser clown. So he comes back saying, I keep asking till you answer me. The guy trying to sell the motorcycle says, no thank you. And then even gets this warning, beware of common scams using payment apps. So I'm guessing this got flagged internally or something. I don't exactly know how Facebook Marketplace works in that regard. But then he goes, so you're okay with putting money over a person's life? And he just goes, has this ever worked for you? His strategy is very clear. He's trying to like play off of people's good nature. Like, my father needs this motorcycle. He doesn't have a car right now, and he doesn't have money to pay for this motorcycle, and I don't have money to pay for the motorcycle because I'm taking care of my dad because I'm a good person. Like, come on, you're gonna really value money over someone's life? You're gonna try and sell this motorcycle for thousands of dollars as opposed to just give it to me and my dad for free, which would actually save his life? Oh my god, you're disgusting. You are despicable scum. And when it becomes clear that this guilt trip song and dance isn't working, he tries something very different. Actually, yes, in the past it worked because years ago there were good-hearted people that would give you the shirt off their back to help a person in need. A shirt is also significantly cheaper than a goddamn motorcycle, you absolute heathen. Now, all you is a bunch of cold-hearted, money-hungry bastards, and I am very disgusted by that. I have no doubt that he like spit. Gross. Won't even give me a free motorcycle. Yucky. My lawyer actually told me that if anything happens to my dad because someone told him and no, and it pushed him over the edge, I can file a lawsuit. So far, I have 20 people's names and Facebook accounts who have refused to help me. I have passed those on to my lawyer in case anything happens. Yeah, that makes sense. Doesn't have money to pay for the motorcycle, begging for it for free, yet somehow has money for a lawyer for this. That's about as believable as me being over 6 feet tall. What a bunch of fucking hooey. My dad told me if anyone else tells him no, there will be major hell to pay. This guy actually speaks like a child on Xbox Live making threats. My dad actually works for Infinity Ward, so if any of you guys kill me in this game and I don't win, you're all getting banned. This goofball has that same kind of energy to these messages here, while he's begging for a free motorcycle, trying to get some kind of sob story guilt trip going. It's fucking brutal. So let's take a bit of a dive here on his last couple of statements. So he's saying that he has a lawyer that has told him he can file a lawsuit if something happens to his dad because someone refused him free shit, basically. That's such an entertaining idea to play around with. Like, you can't tell this guy no because he's old and he might die. So be careful. So he's trying to get the legal threats out there. If Pops kicks the bucket, if he buys the farm because you didn't give him a free motorcycle, I'm taking you to court, so you better give me the free motorcycle. The guy's like sweating like, oh my god, alright, I've got to give him the free motorcycle. I really wanted to get a couple $1,000s out of this because I paid so much for it, but this guy's dad's life is on the line and I'm threatened with a legal lawsuit. Like, what did he possibly think would happen? No one's going to buy this story. Nobody in the world, no rational person in their right mind would get these messages and think anything of them beyond, wow, this person that is talking to me right now actually needs some kind of mental health evaluation. Because this is unhinged. It's also super laughable how he tries to make his dad come in here at the end as like the big head honcho tough guy. My dad said if anyone tells him no, there will be major hell to pay. In what way? He's 78 fucking years old and apparently has no way of getting around and has some demented loser of a son that's trying to get free shit for him on Facebook Marketplace. What is he gonna do? What major hell is there gonna be to pay? There's nothing getting paid. You're just asking for shit for free in the most pathetic way possible. That's the worst threat ever. I have no doubt in my mind this has never worked for him. Shocker, I don't believe he's actually got 20 people's names and Facebook accounts in some kind of dossier that he's about to send to his lawyer to sue. Or if he does, the lawyer's just going to be trying to hose him for money off of this absolute cringe. Like, this is just ridiculous. You can't sue someone because they declined to give you something for free when they weren't even offering it for free to begin with. Like, you can't tell my dad no? What the fuck is that? It's so wild. It's so weird. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. You might want to try this negotiating tactic though once or twice just to see how it goes. Maybe it might be worth trying. Why not? Let it rip. It seems like a good time, a good bunch of fun. That's really about it. See ya.